Hi, third graders. Mrs. Peters here. And this week we're going to be talking about multiples of six. This is similar to other Ed Puzzle videos we've done with. And remember, our learning target is to fluently multiply small numbers so we can quickly and efficiently take two numbers and multiply them and get the product. But I also, as we gain an understanding of different strategies, I want you to make sure that you're doing the important work of using what you know to find out answers to what you don't know. And that reminds me of a couple of our math ninja belts. So the black ninja belt, is I notice shortcuts that can make my work more efficient. So that is that idea of using something that we know to kind of figure out what we don't know. And then I also, as you do this Ed puzzle, I want you to be thinking about the brown belt, which is I do my work carefully and double check for accuracy. Really important. Okay, so here's our multiplication table. And so far in third grade, we have now talked about our zero facts, our ones facts, our doubles, or times two facts, our doubles plus one set, or times three facts, our doubles facts, which are times four, our half 10 facts, which are times five, our doubles facts, which are times eight, our tens minus one set facts times nine, and our tens facts. And today we're really working on that last one of half tens plus one set facts times six. So let's again review what a multiple is, which is a number that is the product of any given whole number and any other whole number. So today we're talking about multiples of six. So if I skip count by six, I will name multiples. So 6 and 6 more is 12, and 6 more is 18, and 6 more than that is 24. What would the next two multiples of 6 be? All right, so let's talk about what we can use that we're already fairly good at to figure out our times 6 facts. So we're going to be thinking about what we know about times 5. And for some of us, when we figure out times 5 facts, we use the half tens facts strategy. So if I'm multiplying a number by 5, I can just multiply it by 10 because that's pretty easy for us. And then just split that in half because 5 is half of 10. Now, some of the others of us, we might skip count by fives to figure out our times 5 facts. Whichever one makes sense to you and works for you, make sure you do. But we do want to figure out times 5 facts to help us with our times 6 facts. So this strategy is called half tens, which are our times 5 facts, plus one set facts, which make them a times 6. So let's take a closer look. Here is Greg Tang's ditty. When multiplying by 6, don't worry, you're not in a fix. Multiply by 10 and take half, so that's your times 5 fact. Then add one more, and you're out the door. Let's take a look here. So remember, we want to use an easier fact to find the product of a harder fact. So in this case, we're going to try and figure out 6 times 4. So I'm going to think about that as a 5 times 4 fact, because I can figure out times 5 pretty easy, and even times 4. If I wanted to think of it as a times 4 fact, I'd double 5 and double it again. But then I have to add another set of 4, and so I get 24. 6 times 4 is 24. Let's look at it with an 8 times 6 fact. So I can turn that into an 8 times 5. And again, my times 5 facts, pretty easy for me to figure out. 8 times 5 is 40, but then I have to add an extra set of 8. And 40 plus 8 is 48. Good work so far. Keep it up. All right, so we're going to take some time to work through a problem together. maybe two, and then I'm going to ask you to do some work on your own. So, let's multiply each number in the grid by 6. Write each answer in the box. The first one is done for you. So they have 6 times 5 is 30. But let's talk about 6 times 7. So if I'm thinking about 6 times 7, I am going to think about that as a 5 times 7 fact. And again, I know my times 5. I can think of it as 5 times 7, 5 groups of 7, or I can think of it as 7 groups of 5. And I get an answer of 35. Then I add that extra set of 7, and my answer is 42. So that tells me that 6 times 7 is 42. Okay, let's look at another one. Now, I want you to keep in mind that you always want to think about what strategy is going to work best. And we know a lot of strategies so far. So when I see this problem, 6 times 3, I think, well, I don't really want to use a times 6 strategy. I want to use what I know about times 3. So I'm going to change it from 6 times 3, or 6 groups of 3, to 3 groups of 6, because then it just becomes a doubles plus 1 set. I double 6 and I get 12. And I add another set of 6, and that gives me 18. So I actually used a times 3 strategy to figure out my answer to 6 times 3, which is 18. Okay, I'm going to give you a chance. I want you to work on figuring out what 6 groups of 8 is. Remember, use what you know to find out answers that you don't know. Mrs. Peters got 48 for 6 times 8. Now I want you to think about, how can you find a product to 6 times 12? And as you do this work, I want you to work carefully and double check your work for accuracy. Mrs. Peters got 72 for 6 times 12. All right, let's give 6 times 6 a try. Mrs. Peters got 36 for 6 times 6. All right, last one. What would 6 times 9 be? What strategy is going to work best for you to figure out 6 times 9? I wonder if 6 times 10 could help you. Do your work carefully and double check for accuracy. Mrs. Peters got 54 as a product for 6 times 9. All right. Hey, great work. Remember, we're learning to fluently multiply small numbers. We're also, as math ninjas, learning to use what we know to find answers to what we don't know. Don't forget, spend some time each week using the different apps we have to practice your multiplication back to fluency. See you later.